course, I'm not as good at getting a guess as David, and instead of incurring the wrath of him while he's gone, I decided that I would come down here and talk about a few things, theories, you know, as I have this theory that one of the reasons that Dayton was great is that disparate people got together, or, you know, the same kind of like-minded people got together during lunch, after work, and talk about ideas. So, yesterday at the coffee shop, night and day, I was talking to Nick, and we were discussing the Toyota pedal problem while he was lusting after the New York Times that I had so greedily clutched in my hands. And the Toyota pedal problem is probably a problem, you know, as you may be aware, it sticks. And I've read several theories about the thing, including some cheap fixes that Toyota is proposing. But I think if you look at that problem, and I think we'll find if we study that problem for a case, I'm sure some UD management problem will be discussed someday, is that I think it's a problem of closing things down or over locking down innovation or the ability to touch certain parts of the system, and that somebody hardwired, developed a chip probably, that goes into the electronic control unit that flowed ubiquitously through Toyota, that when you press down the accelerator, it also, when it got stuck or some electronic jamming occurred, some corrosion occurred, something occurred. Now, some people would say it might be a software problem, as that there might be a flash into that chip. That maybe, as it's a software problem and it's ubiquitous, it could be that that electronic control system goes haywire at a certain point and doesn't shut off. Nor can you shut the car off. Nor when you press the brake down does there a signal to override the accelerator, like there is in the VW and maybe probably in Honda. So that is probably going to be the issue, is that it's such a hard fix, and I'm sure there's chip designers and or software developers working like crazy. The other question is, why didn't they catch it earlier? And did they shut down or stifle discussion? And probably that occurred. I think if you look at Toyota versus Honda, or some of those other things, Honda has always had, when I had my Acura, always had the ability to modify the chip, or at least that's my understanding. It always had cars that were a little more allowed to have innovation applied to them. We've kind of had the same argument about Microsoft, which is another interesting thing as I was reading the New York Times as we were discussing this with Nick, is that the product development manager for Microsoft kind of indicated that that the company, Microsoft, stifled internal development, and some of the internal people using power play control stopped innovation instead of allowing it to go forward. As he was the tablet manager for Microsoft, and he was also part of some other innovative things that Microsoft had done. Whereas if you take a look at, like I said, Honda, and like I said, Apple, they have a little more allowance for internal innovation, I think, and it seems. And I would say that this is probably part of the problem that I think David and I express with the city of Dayton and the surrounding community, is that we express, not that we have the correct idea, but we are kind of upset that some of the things that we talk about can't be discussed with the powers that be. In other words, at least I would like to know that certain things got discussed about potential of the future, or why you chose this path versus another path. And, openness in government and openness in that discussion making would make for a better product. So when we look at some of the things that get done and how companies operate, you want to apply the best possible model and go forward, or take a look at what those things are. Not that you'll always hear about them until much later. You know, I would harp on Microsoft for years. 4 years. So the question is, you know, does that work out? All right. Somebody's calling. Have a good day.